Hello, Curious! Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left the royal family on March 31st of 2020, resigning from official functions of the monarchy, and at the beginning of 2021, it became a fact, and on February of 19th this year, the grandson of Elizabeth II lost his patronage and military ranks, while retaining his noble titles and place in the line of succession. Escaping, as they said, the cruel British press and seeking privacy and peace, Prince William's brother and his wife left for Los Angeles, where he now lives permanently. And while Harry's decision shocks fans of the royal family to this day, it seems that it is not the end of the man's fight against the monarchy. There was a loud interview with Oprah Winfrey, and now it's time for a book-like flashback. So what do we know about the new publication of the prince? Will the diary hurt his beloved grandmother and her legacy? Does Harry no longer care about privacy and peace? What is he trying to say about his life at the court? So stay with us until the very end to find out all the information. But before we do that, don't forget to click the subscription button and turn on the notifications and leave a thumbs up. Let's get started. When Meghan Markle and Prince Harry gave their famous interview to Oprah Winfrey, people couldn't believe what they were hearing. Here in an interview with an American journalist, the only other brother of the British royal throne, and his wife, to talk about problems with depression, misunderstanding and lack of help from the family, and above all, racism in Elizabeth's monarchy. And although the world is divided into those who believe the words of Harry and Meghan, and there are those who picked up on the lies in the interview, undeniably such as loud conversations not having been said for years. But we're not talking about today, because if you want to know the details of the interview with Winfrey, and about how much and who made it, we refer you to one of our other earlier episodes devoted to this topic, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview with Oprah Winfrey, who made a fortune on it, to which the link is being displayed above on your screen now. As you well know, Queen Elizabeth II has been observing the principle of discretion and the declaration of never complain and never explain for years. It was instilled in her in the youth, and she still passed the same teaching on to her family. Anyway, all attempts to break this order usually ended badly for their heirs, as exemplified in the interview that Prince Andrew gave about his alleged friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Although the son of Elizabeth II was supposed to show his tender, innocent face in an interview with the BBC, it actually sparked an even greater discussion. And as a result, he lost his sponsors and associates and had to withdraw from the public life for good, so that, as he claimed, not to harm his mother's activities. But you can hear more about that in our episode, Prince Andrew, the interview that plunged the son of Elizabeth II. After such experiences, the conversation between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with Oprah Winfrey must have shaken the monarchy. The media previously, and more precisely after the Megxit, so-called by the press, wrote about how the bad relations of Elizabeth II's grandson with his father and brother are. However, this interview was supposed to add fuel to the fire, and it also seems that the situation has not changed recently when Prince Harry made his visits to Britain. You remember the funeral of his grandfather Prince Philip, and when he and Prince William unveiled a monument in honor of their deceased mother, Princess Diana. Neither Buckingham Palace nor the spokesman of the royal family members reported any important talks or meetings at the time, and Harry himself returned to his wife and children very quickly each time, in no way extending his stay at home with his family. So does he still regret something and decided to break the silence once and for all? And as many of you may know, Prince Charles, who is the longest waiting heir for the throne, wants to limit the circle of functional family members during his reign to be maybe that's why he's also stopped funding Prince Harry, who chose to live away from Britain and his responsibilities to the monarchy. His son added that not only is he out of contract with his father, but also only thanks to his mother's inheritance he could afford to change that. And then he said that without the money he and Meghan Markle had saved by Princess Diana, we would not have been able to do that, and Lady Di left her sons around £21 million, which also includes stocks, jewelry, and the Duchess's personal belongings. And after deducting the inheritance tax and distribution to William, as well as the corresponding investments, Harry was said to have received £20 million at the age of 30, and it is also necessary to have received about £7 million inherited from his great-grandmother, and that is the Queen Mother Elizabeth Bowles-Lyon. Nevertheless, Prince Harry assures that together with his wife, completely cut off from the royal funds, he was forced to cooperate with Netflix and Spotify to pay for protection of his loved ones. And we would like to remind you that as part of a long-term contract with the streaming giants, the couple undertook to produce film programs with a music platform to produce podcasts. And although no amounts have officially been given, experts say that the Sussexes could get up to $100 million for the Netflix deal and about $25 million for the Spotify contract. And as Prince Harry confessed, "I did all of this to ensure the safety and stability for my family." But it seems that this is not the end of what the son of the Princess Diana is doing, and the amazing news that has just circulated around the world is that Prince Harry decided to release his memories. Did he do it for the money so that he could protect his loved ones, or is it kind of a form of revenge on his father and brother? Could his confessions harm the monarchy and his grandmother? Here's what we know. The British media have reached information that Prince Harry has signed a contract with the largest English-language literary publisher, Penguin Random House, reportedly for $20 million, not including this is the profit from the sales of the publication. And the Daily Mail has learned, however, that for all of the Lion's shares, and this amount will go to charity. However, the most moving seems that the content of the planned book. Well, Prince Harry will discuss not only the controversies around Megxit, but also the truth about his relationship with his family. Prince William's brother even released this on his case, a statement in which he wrote, "I am not writing from the perspective of the prince I was born to be, but from the perspective of the man I have become. I have worn a lot of headgear in my life, literally and figuratively, so I hope that through my story, the ups and downs, mistakes and lessons, I will be able to show what we have more in common than you think. And I'm grateful to have been offered to share that and what my life was like, and I'm glad that people will be able to find out firsthand what the truth is." It is known from various press leaks that the grandson of Elizabeth II has been working on a book diary for over a year and did not inform his relatives about it. And as you can probably guess, it was a huge shock for them, and at the moment, according to BBC reports, no one at Buckingham Palace expects Harry to try to get permission from anyone at court to carry out the project. So the prince will not write the book himself. The so-called ghostwriter, Pulitzer Prize winner J.R. Moringer, to receive $1 million for the work. The first ever version of the book to be delivered to the publisher is in October, and the publication is to debut on the market in the second half of 2022. Along with these reports, there were also voices about Meghan Markle's shares in the unusual autobiography. And even now, not knowing the content of her memories yet, many accuse her of dictating the narrative to her husband. And although Prince Harry once confessed that he would not do anything to harm his grandmother, can Queen Elizabeth II sleep well with such news? Is her beloved grandson not breaking one of the most sacred principles at this point? Meanwhile, Marcus Dole, CEO of the Penguin Random House Publishing, also spoke honestly about what the basis of the upcoming book is, and he stated that Prince Harry will offer you an honest and captivating personal portrait. It will show readers that there is an inspiring, bold, and uplifting human story behind everything they think they know. It will be an intimate and moving story. Interestingly enough, although there are many books and biographies on the members of the royal family on the market, only Edward, the Duke of Windsor, the former King Edward VIII, had decided to issue a memoir. In 1951, he published a book entitled A King's Story, The Memoirs of HRH, the Duke of Windsor, KG, or translated by The King's Story, The Memoirs of His Royal Highness, the Duke of Windsor. And this is a story of a man who was raised to be king but had to give up the throne for love. It is a diary in which the prince mentions his strict upbringing, the Great War, his deep love for Wallis Simpson, and the growing crisis surrounding the case and the terrifying dilemma that led to his abdication. And some say that the publication was created with the help of a ghostwriter, others that the uncle of Elizabeth II wrote the memoirs himself. And one thing is certain, the royalties from the sales enriched in the property of the prince and his wife, who until then, the end of their days, were a problem and a stain on the image of the British monarchy. And this thread is presented in the series The Crown in a very interesting way, in which it was emphasized that it was considered wicked to give up duty to the nation and a lack of discretion in the political matters and more. This is not the first time when you can compare Prince Harry and his wife to Prince Edward Windsor from the Wallis Simpson case, which you can see by watching our episode on the CURIOSIPS channel titled Wallis Simpson, Bigger Scandal Than Meghan Markle, to which the link is being displayed above on your screen. But before we get to it, please tell me, do you think that the memories of Prince Harry will go and prove painful for the royal family? Do you think this monarchy will survive the subsequent storms caused by its members? Will Queen Elizabeth II have a reason to sever the contacts with her grandson, or will she publicly support him? Let us know in the comments below, because as always, we're waiting for your opinions. And also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. See you guys next time!